Hey YouTube, I'm back again with another video. This one's of Top Gear, the MSU version. This is the Kokomeri Stridr, MSU-1 version of Top Gear. And I'm going to put it on auto. I don't feel like shifting. It's a lot harder if you have it on manual. Here's all the different controller configurations. I'm playing again on a 8BitDo SNES DIY kit through my wireless 8BitDo receiver. It's in my desktop PC. My desktop PC is a GTX 1080 with 24 gigs of RAM and Core i5 with two RAID 0 SSDs. And this is kind of interesting. I remember you could always turn the controller upside down to play. I always thought it was funny that they put that in there. We would do that sometime. Another interesting thing I see in here is when I was setting up Horizon Chase Turbo in another video to make it work with the controller, there's more that the select button, but what we used for Nitro. It doesn't look like any of these configurations do that. Must have just remembered that. I'm just gonna do this A layout. And each of these cars have different attributes. You can see this red one has highest max speed and the lowest grip and the highest fuel consumption. This is like the fast one that takes a lot of gas. And you have these two that are more like middle of the road, but this one has slightly better grip, slightly better acceleration. Yeah, so I really have no idea why you would choose this purple one. Oh, okay. This one has better grip. Yeah. I don't know why you'd pick the purple one. Then the white one has the easiest handling, the slowest top speed, got great acceleration, and it's low on fuel. I'm gonna do the white one. And country, I think defaults to even then I'm setting my speed to miles per hour. See how the cars are kind of freaking out and going off the road. Well, the first time I played this game was on my Nintendo Wii with SNES 9X doing the MSU-1 hack, and I noticed that, and I thought maybe it was just something of that build of SNES 9X. It was like a beta one that was supporting the MSU-1, and so I just thought that maybe that was a product of that configuration. Then when I got my SD to SNES on my Super NT, I played this game again. I saw it did the same thing. So I think it's just the MSU-1 hack that causes that weird glitch. Right now I'm doing this with a different build of SNES 9X on my PC. It's kind of cool that they have the game set to split screen, so you have that computer character who took first down there all the time. And then you have Richie, who I talked about in my Horizon Chase Turbo one, how he'll take first if you don't. A lot of times you want to be playing with another human character so that they're at the bottom, and then you two can try to carve Richie for points, taking first and second. You know, a lot of these games of this ilk were a lot easier playing 2-player, just because they're all dependent on, you know, taking first in points to keep progressing. And if there's 2 of you, you can carve the computer points easier. Or sometimes you can even headhunt the computer, make sure that he doesn't take first or place at all. That was always a fun thing in these games when the computer guy who you're worried about, you know, has for some reason does terribly. Like here, I can watch the bottom screen and try to stay in front of him. It just didn't work. And this game was kind of ahead of its time in having this really awesome music. You know, I think of all the modern racing games that I play now, the soundtracks to the games are just a huge deal. You know, now with the Forza Horizon games doing the radio station, I think it was Forza Horizon 3 had where you could integrate it with Groove's music service to import your own music. You know, a few games have done stuff like that. Music just really makes games like that. This was really like my first racing game that I ever played. After this, we started, I'd always play this at my buddy's house. His older brother would tell me not to brake on the turns. I'd always use the brake on the turn. He started telling me to just let off the gas. Now that's all I ever do. You really never need to use the brake. You know, after this game, we started playing Need for Speed 3 on PC. It was Hot Pursuit, so it was fun having the cops do stuff. Then we started getting into you know, on the Nintendo 64, Cruising World, Cruising USA. San Francisco Rush was also really awesome on the 64, but I never really played it that much. The 8-bit Duke controller's pretty awesome. I'm sure there's lag, but I'm not feeling anything. Like when I messed up at multiple. It's kind of interesting trying to go through the pack on this game because, you know, in my Horizon Chase Turbo video, when you bump into the side of an opposing car, it kind of bounces you off to the side. In this game, even though the cars look 3-dimensional, they're really just like, you know, almost like a cardboard cutout where if you hit them in the back, you know, the hit detection sends you, you know, slows you down. But the second you're past that little, you know, cardboard frame of their back end, it's like you can switch over into their lane and just like drive through their vehicle. The game, you know, doesn't care. Like even though some of the times when it turns, I'll see the side of his vehicle. The vehicle doesn't have any protection on the side. And this game has a lot of interesting dynamics. It has these pit stops, you know, with the whole, how it's showing the attributes of the different cars, where, you know, you can run out of gas. And when you're in the pit stops, especially when you're playing 2-player, it's kind of an interesting dynamic because you can stay in the pit stops for as long or as little as you like. So you're sitting there like kind of paranoid about the other car passing you, but at the same time, even though you want to leave, you want to make sure you get enough gas to where you didn't waste your time in the pit stop. The pit stops are really cool. I kind of wonder why Horizon Chase Turbo took that out. I don't know, maybe I didn't play far enough in that game, but it seemed like it would have been cooler to have the pit stops than to have their mechanic of just picking up the gas. kind of wonder. I'd be interested to hear why they decided to do that. You can also see like in the background how they have the cityscape, and they were doing that a lot in Horizon Chase Turbo too. It's totally, you know, what they were going for there, recreating this original feel. I think this is the first race that'll have them to the top. I think that's the Bay Bridge in San Francisco. Back. I didn't read where this race was. It just kind of looks like that. I might be wrong. I know that screen before the race tells you, but I didn't see that. Another thing that's cool about this game is when you do run out of gas, a lot of times you can try to get the computer cars to bump into the back of you and knock you across the finish line, or you can try to get if you're playing two-player, you can try to have the other person bump you across the finish line. And there's a few Top Gear games on the Super Nintendo. I've only ever really extensively played this one, but I know that I think it was Top Gear 2000 or 3000. We rented that a couple times when I was young, and they started doing dynamics in the games where, when you take first or second or third, you'd win money, and then you could upgrade your car. That was kind of cool. Might have to try playing that one again. I really should just check out the other one. I know another interesting thing is I have a Super NT and a multi-tap, and one of the Top Gear games, I don't know if it's Top Gear 2 or which one it is, but one of them supports 3 or 4 player, which is kind of cool, and I never really knew until recently how many Super Nintendo games support more than 2 player. I mean, it's 80 games or something support that. It's kind of crazy because when I was young, I didn't even know that it existed. And this is the Kokomeri Stridr MSU-1 hack of Top Gear. It's my favorite version. There's another version that I have where it's called the Amiga Lotus version or something. And what they did was they took the sound chip from an Amiga, which is a really old video game console, and they recreated all the music using the sound chip from an Amiga. And it's pretty cool they did it, but I don't really care for the sound of it that much. And then you see on this screen, and I think there was a little sound that it used to make on the screen that it doesn't make in the MSU-1 hack. But this, you can see that you have this password Moonbath, and that's because this is one of the Super Nintendo games that doesn't have any sort of save mechanism. So you're still entering in passwords like a regular Nintendo game. And so, for those of you who are too young for this, when you would fire up this game, you have the option of entering in that password. And that password will take you to this race, which is the first race in the second cup. They did that because they didn't have anything inside the cartridge that they didn't have the saving, battery and the EEPROM in the chip to do a save. Most Super Nintendo games did, you know, that needed it, but regular Nintendo games, I don't think there were any that you could save. Which was kind of crazy on regular Nintendo. I remember like Super Mario 3 would have been nice to save. I think this race I'm gonna have to pit, so. Show you guys what that's like. I don't think I need to very much. Ooh. You can see it has the little voice bubbles like Horizon Chase Turbo did. A lot of similarities between the games. I really think Horizon Chase Turbo is a pretty awesome successor to this game though. I think they did a lot of nice touches. One thing I kind of wonder about is the pit stops, but they probably have a good reason. And the computer took a pit. I'm gonna have to do. The computer's kind of dumb though. They pretty much filled up their tank. I don't think they need that much. When you're in the pit, you can leave whenever you want. And this is where you get nervous because I don't want to get passed by too many people. Now the computer's here. Oh, and it put me back in the grass. Yeah, I still have a nitro. You guys want to get in your way. Nice. Ooh. And then you pass all these lappers. That was what was cool about this game too. You'd have all these lappers. But first place is way out there. I assume that other dot is for. It's crazy. At least low fuel again. I still think the computer guy stayed in the pit too long. Oh, there's no catching Richie. Makes me wonder if he even had to pit. Okay, well that's Horizon, or that's Top Gear, the MSU-1 version. Maybe I'll just play up the music and send this out on some of the music. Thanks for watching.